This past May, as I chased cactus on dusty trails from the Sonoran Desert all the way to the waves of the Pacific, I got a unique opportunity to see a Walmart somewhere in the southwestern middle edge of America.
I was with some international friends and they needed a Western Union, so we stopped at a Walmart. I could have stayed in the car, but I went in instead because I never lived near any Walmarts and rarely had been, and I really wanted to see what all the fuss was about. I'd been out of this country a lot over the last year, and at the time had, as of late, not really been on this planet, and I'd only been to Walmart at random, and that's not because I'm a pretentious asshole or some overly active revolutionary. I just prefer my stuff to be unique and have character and homegrown and made with at least love, and I prefer to spend more and have less than spend less and have more, and despite having been in Walmart thrice my whole life, those times were random, and I never paid much attention, always just in, commerce, out. However, one thing clung to the memory of those brainless excursions, and it was the awful smell of the place. At first, I blamed the people because it smelled like stupid and sick, but the next time I went to Walmart, it was at night, and there were no people, and it still smelled stupid, and it still smelled sick, and I realized it wasn't necessarily the customers, but the place that was the stink of it. The smell was rank with some cheap chemical odorizer that's supposed to make it all smell new, but forms a toxic brew that assaults the senses, and you breathe in, and you taste it, and it's empty and hollow with that soft candy shell and that awful smell, and it always made me want to get out of there as fast as possible and back into life. Today, I remember that awful smell as I walked from Megalot to the store, but had no clue otherwise. It all seemed like a curiosity, some wild, unknown place that I had rarely been, although I absorbed information over the years. I was aware of the Walton family, I was aware of the wealth and the size of the corporation, I was aware that they provided cheap, often bulk goods to the masses and economically stunted, but it was all just some fictional zombie wasteland, a movie I never watched. I absorbed more information over the years about employee policies and pay and business practices in small towns, and you couldn't ignore sweatshop shit. Sweatshop shit, sweatshop shit, sweatshop shit. Say that 3 times fast. There's a reason Walmart clothes stink is in P. You stink, and then you start thinking about Monsanto and seeds and all that garbage, and my already zero desire to go to Walmart became less, but today, I wasn't here to shop. I wanted to smile and connect and feel what all the fuss was about. I'm in some tiny mountain community in the middle of nowhere, Arizona, and it's a Mormon town. I guess before that it was the natives, now it's a Mormon native town. I was up there in the mountains away from it all on a break from chasing cactus and wanted to see some of the good people that were hiding in the hills with me, and I guess Walmart's as good a place to see those people as any. To be in the people and connect with my proud American roots, and I was really happy that day. Like really happy, and that month for that matter, in love with life, and I just strung a bunch of beautiful days together after almost a year of rough ones, and I figured as long as I'm going to Walmart, I was going to enjoy it, and I was determined to look everyone in the eye and smile and share the love I felt and bask in the beauty of the people. Just people. I walk from the car and scan the parking lot, and the first thing I recognize is several obese people pushing shopping carts doing what I come to term the Walmart Waddle. The Walmart Waddle is when an obscenely overweight human is waddling with a cart in front of them, which they're either leaning on or over, depending upon their height, with their forearms, apparently too lazy, or sick, or fat, or all the above to hold their own weight up, so they kill a whole bunch of birds with one shopping cart and use to keep their fat asses propped up as they slowly roll away to discounted oblivion. I wonder if things go on like this, if the Walmart will keep forklifts in their parking lot so that their fat indentured slaves won't have to expend any energy whatsoever on the way into commerce, and they can just forklift them out of their cars and deposit them inside. Maybe they could start renting condos in there so people never had to leave. You could quite literally drape yourself in cheap Chinese plastic commerce and have sex in piles of it. Full service, baby. You think it would be funny, some fat manatee-looking fuck waddling to Walmart, leaning on a shopping cart like a fat fuck leaning tower of pizza that had too many Walmart pizzas and they are too fucking fat to stand up and walk on their own? You think it would be funny, and I guess it was in a South Park sort of way, but out here, under the sunshine, it wasn't funny at all, and it looked like sickness and disease to me, and that's what it felt like too, and I had no laughter for this image, and I felt helpless to the pain of these people, and it made me really not want to enter this black hole of commerce at all, but today was a beautiful day, and I just had to string them after a whole year of bad, and I was going to go in and smile and see what all the fuss was about. One of these poor waddling beasts was headed towards me, and she looks like she's 65, which means she's probably 42, and she's pressed over a full cart, one step, slowly at a time, leaving the ever-offering plastic paradise piled high with deals, steals, and one-minute meals. She doesn't appear to be sick, just fat, and I figure this will be the first person I smile to with heavy eye contact and love and share some of the good vibes I was feeling on this mid-May sunny day in the middle of nowhere, Arizona. I felt for this person. She looked what I thought Walmart looked like when I imagined it, and man, she's leaving with a cart filled to the brim, but she doesn't look happy about it at all, so smile, baby. Smile. Heavy eye contact. Love. Smile. Smile. But she just kept her sad eyes on the precious things in her cart and slowly waddled off into unconsciousness, and well, that didn't work. I figured I would have to try hard to ask how they were doing. Good day, sir, la la la, and the ilk. I walk in, and the first person I see is a nice elderly doorman. I think how nice of Walmart to have a doorman, but what is a doorman doing at a Walmart out on the sticks? And I smiled at him, asked how he was doing. He smiled back and said, good. And I said, good day, sir, la la la, and moved on. I pondered my first Walmart smile that I shared with the doorman, thought he was paid to do that, and he was paid to say good, and it didn't feel genuine. He was lying, and I don't blame him, because I think Walmart should probably shell out a little more to get a decent and happy doorman in the place. I mean, they make enough money. You would think they would want the simple luxury of a well-paid doorman with a content smile, and anyways, the Waltons must know that cheap people stink, and that those who sit on their money are usually vile cretins and no fun, and no wonder I never come to this place. I survey the scene, and I can pick out the white Mormons, and there were definitely no black people or Asian people, but there are plenty of brown people. However, it's difficult for me to differentiate the Mexicans and the Native Americans, but it's not like it mattered anyway, because everyone gets smiles from me on this beautiful day. I hang a left and go through the clothes, and there it is. Preteen, undocumented Asian finger sweat stink, and it's awful. Like bacterial vaginosis. It was rank and clung to all things for sale, and maybe the smell was the things for sale and the things clung to me, and either way it was wretched and noxious stink, and the skunked air was repugnant and making it a bit difficult to smile, but I pressed onward and smiled anyway. I walk by some more nice white folk and smile and attempt at making eye contact, and they quickly avert their eyes, but I catch a glimpse, and the glimpse feels like an eternity because I feel empty and hollow and sick, and I know it is not my sickness that I feel because I'm in love with life and not sick at all, and I must be invisible because the brown people won't smile back at me either, and I guess I don't blame them, but really? Nothing? I'm not there? Maybe my invisibility was my invincibility, but stink still choked on the lights that are meant to feel soft but feel harsh and alien, and I need to get out. I head toward the exit bummed, but I didn't break my smile because I was determined to share the smiles I felt with the sick denizens of this merchandise abattoir, even if they could not receive them or give any back. The exit couldn't come soon enough, and the jammed traffic of carts and fat fucks and plastic bag, the cardboard box, discounted things, and it all became too much too fast, and the people in line hunched over the cart and the mountain of things. I know I'm not the only person that can see this. People getting fattened up. Hansel and Gretel, I couldn't be the only one who saw the monsters, vampires, criminals, zombies, and their minions feasting on fat fucks. If you couldn't see it, you could at least smell it, but people didn't seem to care. I would look at them, smiling, and they would slowly turn their head to look at me, but they looked back like my smile was sickness, and they couldn't stand to look at it, and their faces began to melt right off, like Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark when the Nazis opened the Ark of the Covenant. Off! People were dying all around me, zombies feast, fat fucking faces melting off, but the plastic goods remained sturdy in the carnage, and I saw this, and I didn't care. I was smiling my way out of here if it killed me. So I smiled through the horror, the terror of all, the death, and the carnage, and the melting fat faces, and then there was
nothing left to do but smile, smile, smile.
I couldn't get out of there fast enough, though, and I held my breath during the home stretch because I didn't want any more of that wretched air in my being, and I am out. Breaths returned, and the warm, sunshine-infused mountain air is a relief to my system, and I enjoy the exquisite air with more appreciation than when I walked into Walmart and walked back to the car and wait beside it and smoke a cigarette while I wait for the rest of my group. Surely they had seen the carnage too, as they were international and Walmart was as foreign to them as it was to me, but I'm not worried because their invincibility is their invisibility to the vampires at the merchandise slaughterhouse, and I noticed that fine, organic, American tobacco tastes better than the air inside Walmart and smoke deeply. It tastes good. I laughed. It was all I could do. I already had no attachments to the place and the curiosity is solved, but I was really bummed. Walmart is not a happy place, and I do not understand why people subject themselves to this unhappiness, willingly waddling their way in, all vampire in, zombie out. And whether the shimmering plastic abundance of crap was a siren calling to the sick or the shimmering plastic abundance of crap was a reason for the sick, I couldn't exactly tell and didn't care because it didn't matter. And you can bet I won't be going back to Walmart again. Well, perhaps if the Waltons stopped being so cheap and decided to spread it around a little bit and pop for a well-paid doorman that can give an honest smile, I would consider it, but who knows? It's not like I know them, but at least then they wouldn't seem like miserly Arkansas inbred yokels who can't run a business, and they won't ever get mine. And I knew in my heart that it was all I could do. A brown man pushing a half-full cart is walking toward me as I smoke and ponder all this, and I can't tell if he's Hispanic or Native, and he's not hunched over, and he's walking straight enough, but his shoulders sagged a bit like they've been shouldering the weight of the world for far too long, and I figured, fuck it. Why not? This man deserved a smile on this beautiful day, too, so I broke out my best one and nodded hello, and as he passed, he said, "Nice beads, brother," and he was talking about my mandala that my sister from Colombia wove, and it was worth every smile that I spent in that horror store.